There isn't an organization that's more emblematic of what California stands for than the Conservation Corps. These organizations help us create parks, restore wetlands, protect our forests. They help us in urban areas to create vibrant communities, to maintain our parks, to build trails, but also to train young people for the economies of tomorrow.
It's my greatest pleasure to introduce Core Conversations' first guest, Senator Ben Hueso. Well, thank you for allowing us to have you here, and we are excited as well. Well, about us, we are 2 of 14 local conservation corps in California, which are nonprofit organizations that help empower youth and enable them to move forward within professional workplaces and get their higher education. But of course, you probably already knew that.
Very well.
Core Conversations is a model that provides us with an opportunity to share our views as youth and leadership in our local corps and get the questions that we want answered. Not always within this time and place in the world do we have opportunities to be heard. This gives our youth and fellow corps members and leadership to have a chance to do just that. So we are really excited to have you here and everybody else here to kick off this new idea. I'm pleased to be joined by my other fellow corps members, Giselle Gonzalez from the Urban Corps of San Diego, who works in the environmental department, and my 2 fellow colleagues as well from the San Jose Conservation Corps, Lucas Montoya and Tabitha Rodriguez. They both work in shelter ops right now. Now, Senator, first off, I'd like you to hear from my fellow corps members about their service within the Corps and how it's impacted their lives.
Absolutely. That's great. Love to.
All right, take it away, Giselle.
My name is Giselle Gonzalez from Urban Corps in San Diego. I've worked in the environmental department for about a year now. Before joining the Corps, I was capable of doing so many different things. I've become an independent person. I want to go to college and I want to succeed in life. It's really motivating when you have supervisors that were corps members just like us. You get to learn from others and others get to learn from you. Clarence?
Thank you, Giselle. Now, about myself, since I joined the Corps in about February, it was 7 months ago, I've accomplished so many different goals that I wasn't able to before. I've gotten my high school diploma. I'm working towards going back to school, taking classes. I'm going towards my driver's license, just things I was never able to really accomplish. Through my life, I've experienced homelessness through long periods and short periods. I've never really had the opportunity to work in a community and do good for other people. I was always kind of trying to take care of myself and my own needs. Presently, I feel like I'm a part of a greater thing. I've been given a drive and a motivation here that I didn't have before, nurtured within a community of mentorship. Without that, I don't think I would be able to start accomplishing the goals that I'm getting through right now. It's something that I wouldn't find in a normal job that I didn't, and it's something that I didn't really find in school either. And yeah, that's just how my experience has been with the Corps now. Now I'm going to pass it on to Tabitha.
Thank you, Clarence. Hello, Senator. My name is Tabitha. I'm a San Jose native. I'm serving in a leadership role at one of the emergency shelter sites. My dream, which I'm going to achieve, is going to college to study psychology and child development. I want to give back by supporting young people in my community. I joined the San Jose Conservation Corps in order to make my dream possible. By working here, I'm able to earn a scholarship and gain social service experience and earn money to support myself and my family. The Corps gave me an opportunity to show what I'm capable of accomplishing, and I'm excited to share my experience in my future college application.
Thank you for sharing that with us, Tabitha. Hi, Senator.
Hi.
My name is Lucas, and I am with the San Jose Conservation Corps. Like my colleagues, Giselle, Tabitha, and Clarence, I've been so inspired and changed by the whole environment that the Corps brings. Seeing people going after what they want to do, being in a place where you're not alone, and where everyone is working towards something they want to do. Before I joined the Corps, I had little to no motivation to finish high school. Now this environment has helped me obtain my high school diploma, give back to my community, and go to college. Senator Hueso, you went from working at the Corps and now you're a state senator. I want to go from working at the Corps to becoming a leader who creates jobs and economic opportunities for others. What advice do you have for me and my fellow Corps members, and what are our next steps?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you, all of you, for doing this, and it's a pleasure to meet all of you. All the local corps have done such a great job of providing a platform for young people to get a second chance at getting their high school diploma, get job training while getting a paycheck. And it's a wonderful thing that you're part of a wonderful family. I consider myself part of the family, and I continue to look out for all the local corps in my job as a senator. Every time there's an opportunity to include the local corps in something, because of my familiarity with the corps, I advocate for them up here every day. And we're looking out for all of you. What do we want? We want you to achieve your own personal goals, the American dream, for you to all become whatever it is that you want to do, whatever it is that you dream to do. My advice to you is do everything in your possible, within your abilities, to learn to become critical thinkers. Thinkers are somebody that learns to analyze things in a certain way and solve problems in a way using the scientific method. I really encourage all of you to be on a path toward college if possible. If you can do that, if that's within your dreams, becoming a critical thinker will help you in every part of your life to solve problems. People hire college educated people because they tend to know more of the scientific method and know how to solve problems. That's how we put satellites in space and build skyscrapers and build cars that run on electricity. People that solve problems, and I want that for all of you. And I want you to understand the freedom related to knowing that you can accomplish anything in your life, because a critical thinker knows how to find the pathway and ask the right questions and get to the bottom of issues. And one of the challenges we're having in our country politically is there's just so many people that don't know how to analyze things, that are starting to question news outlets, and we have news outlets that are starting to provide misleading information, and candidates that are running for office that are saying misleading information. And some people, oftentimes, instead of being critical thinkers, would rather hear what they want to hear and look for information that supports their own personal beliefs. So I know it's a long-winded answer, but I really want you guys to, as you educate yourself, as you prepare yourself, this becomes such a complex world. Technology is moving beyond the bounds of the average person's understanding. That's why education is becoming so much more important to your ability to get ahead in this world, especially in California. California is creating so many high quality paying jobs, but they're only high paying jobs in areas that require an education. If you're an engineer, if you're an architect, if you're a doctor, things like that are what the economy in California is expanding so much to provide opportunities. And I just hate for those jobs to go to people that we're importing from outside the country because we can't find enough people with high quality education to fill those positions. I want those jobs for all of you. And your I know not everybody started, on first base or on second base, on third base. A lot of you started in really tough situations in your own personal lives. And we're trying here at the state to provide every opportunity to give you a path, to give you opportunities that are not necessarily available to you in this economy, to give you a shot, at achieving your dreams. And part of that requires you putting an extra amount of effort. I had to do a paper route when I was a kid and wake up at 4:30 in the morning, deliver the paper by 6, and be ready to get on a bus to take me to school 10 miles away by 6:30 in the morning. And it was often, if I ran late in my paper route, I didn't make my bus. And if I didn't make my bus, I had to ride my bike to school 10 miles. And I worked very hard to get an education in high school and to go to college. When I was in college, I lived in a van because I couldn't afford to pay rent. But I was on a mission. I decided I'm going to get an education. I'm going to improve myself. I want to go somewhere in my life. And it caused me to have to work 40 hours a week while I was at UCLA. And it was very hard to go to college with a full-time job. But I'm here now in the Senate, and I always think of all of you, hoping that you don't have to live in a van, hoping you don't have to pay exorbitant college tuition, and hoping that we can make it easier for you to get a college education and realize yourselves and become the people that you want to become.
That really inspires me just in general. You heard a little bit about myself from where I come from. So I want to thank you for your input, and I really want to express how good it is to have you here today with us. Senator, right now there's a lot going on in the world. Current world events include racial tension, rising unemployment, and more. You touched on a little bit of it. Out of all that is happening out there, one major topic is the coronavirus, and it really doesn't matter demographic-wise or living conditions. It affects us all. Including myself, we were all struggling with it and just dealing with the new world that is kind of new rules and changes that it comes with. But to speak more about it, I'm going to pass it off to my colleagues that are actually on the front line, Lucas, Tabitha, and Giselle, with her experience with it.
Thank you, Clarence. Senator, I've been with the San Jose Conservation Corps for 3.5 years, and I recently joined the emergency response team as a supervisor. I'm now leading one of our shelter operations, and this is like a whole new field of work for me. I had to quickly adapt to be able to help this community. So since April 2nd, 6 days a week, I have been helping to lead the San Jose Conservation Corps' shelter operations, where our team has provided shelter for more than 675 housing insecure people at this unprecedented time. As you know, the Corps were deployed by Governor Newsom in March to support our emergency response services. And since then, we've been on the front lines across the state. All the Corps are stepping up. We are working with food banks to get food to the people who need it. We're building services. We're building emergency shelters and mobile medical facilities. We're continuing to do essential services like fire prevention, recycling, and waste disposal. So Senator, my question for you is, how do you feel about how we are stepping forward and putting ourselves out there to support communities on the front line?
I feel extremely grateful. I think it's amazing what all of you guys are doing and be part of the solution here. I've been to events and seen Corps members in action in person. So I'm aware of all the work that you guys are doing in all the sectors, and it's just a wonderful thing to see all of you contributing to our community as you have always been doing, but you guys have stepped up, and I think more of our community needs to know. It's amazing what all of you guys are doing and be part of the solution here. I've been to events and seen Corps members in action in person. So I'm aware of all the work that you guys are doing in all the sectors, and it's just a wonderful thing to see all of you contributing to our community as you have always been doing, but you guys have stepped up, and I think more of our community needs to know about the wonderful work that you're doing. But I'm very grateful, and I understand, they're taking good care of you in terms of providing PPE. And if you guys need anything else in that regard, please feel free to give my office a call so I can continue to support you. But I'm very grateful for all of your efforts and all of your hard work. And this is a time for all of us to roll up our sleeves and be part of the solution. So you guys have definitely been leaders in that regard, and all of you should be very proud.
Thank you, Senator, for your words. They really mean a lot to us. COVID has affected millions of people in the whole world. My dad is a driver, and he was having to figure out how to pay rent just because there's less people in streets. I was able to stay at home, and it had its advantages and disadvantages. First, because I was less exposed, but I was still worrying about paying bills. I also had a family member that passed away from COVID, so we all felt the fear of getting sick. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that have different stories, but all related. Senator Hueso, what are you doing to help families like mine?
Well, we're working very hard in many areas to get the governor mobilized. First of all, we set aside about $1 billion to respond to the COVID crisis. We funded lots of testing sites. We're now down to testing people every 24 hours, including passing out PPE that I know organizations like yours that have been the beneficiaries of some of the resources that we've been passing out. We've also been informing people about the importance of quarantining, of wearing masks. I've been having town halls to provide updates and information to the people of my district. We've been helping people get access to unemployment benefits. And also we've been helping people get access to some of the state resources that we've allotted and the federal money, SBA funds. Our office has been working day and night just to help our constituents get whatever they need. We've been passing out food. We've been supporting organizations that pass out food. We funded another $98 million of state funds to provide food banks across the state with food to pass out to the people of our community. We're passing bills here that protect workers, especially essential workers that are in the front lines of this pandemic. We are committed here at the state to do everything we can to combat this crisis, but we also understand that what we say and that leadership is important. When our president basically started by telling people this was a hoax and that this is just going to blow over, it'll be over by April, really send the wrong message. This is not a political issue. This is not about Republicans and Democrats. This is about people's health. This is about our country's economy, and we need leadership. And we're having to work against Washington and everything that's happened. It really is a circus. Here in California, we're more united, and our governor and our legislature is united in sending a message that we need to coalesce, we need to unite, we need to work together to combat the crisis. And unfortunately, this has hurt. Instead of diffusing the incidents having to do with police brutality, they've only been exacerbated by the president. And so now that has resulted in marches that are spreading COVID. It has created the counter response that has been spreading COVID. And these marches continue to happen across our country and our state. And it's harder to combat a crisis like this when we're fighting each other nationally, this group against that group. And it's just caused more criticism. It's caused more conflict, and it's taken away from our goal of surviving as a country, as a society. We have more deaths than any other country in the world related to COVID, and we're the #1 economic power in the country. And it just says a lot about how our leadership is just combating each other. And it's extremely disappointing to watch this process, and it's frustrating, but we're in our neck of the woods, in our little part of the world, we're doing everything we can to make a difference and to provide people with support, relief, and some sense of hope that the end is near, in terms of not the end of our lives, but the end of this problem.
Thank you, Senator. As Clarence mentioned, there was a lot happening in this country right now as a result of racial inequality. Not only has there been citywide curfews and protests, but it also feels like we're so divided as a nation. And it's scary because you hear about ICE raids, children being taken away from their families, and other stories of hate and division. Racial equality is important to me because I strongly believe that individuals should have equal access to resources and opportunities, regardless of race, gender, and background. As a Hispanic, I want to live in a community that is united in creating opportunity for all and in fighting inequality. Senator, how do you feel about what's happening in our country around racial inequality right now?
What I'm happy about is at least we're confronting the issue. The circumstances are very troubling during a time when we should be working together to survive this pandemic. However, I've never seen such a strong response to racism across our country my whole life. And it's for somebody that's been working here to combat racism and to end institutional discrimination. I remember in 2012 sitting on the floor of the Senate, just wishing my father was alive to see his son vote in all these bills that remove discriminatory laws from California's books, just a litany of bills. And it's not over. There are just so many other laws that discriminate against people that we need to remove from the books nationwide. There's just so much of a horrible history of racism in our country, institutional racism, genocide, slavery, and we are still fighting it. 170 years after we eliminated slavery, we're still dealing with the remnants of the slavery issue. We're still combating inequality in every sense: social inequality, racial inequality, gender inequality. And I believe that it's going to take protests and movements and people speaking up and people going to vote at the polls. I hope all of you are registered to vote. And I hope you go to the polls and vote, because your voices need to be heard in this process. Remember that civic engagement is the vote is the way we change our country more than anything else. And so, we have too many people in this country that don't vote. I remember in one election, only 10% of the registered voter universe voted. Where are the other 90%? We may have 35%. Where are the other 65%? If everybody voted, I really think this country would change. It's usually people that have the most to gain that don't vote. And that's why you have to educate yourself as to how to vote your interest and the interests of your country and your community. And you have to go vote. At the end of the day, it's all about voting. I happen to know that a lot of the people protesting are not voters. and a lot of them aren't. And that's a shame. And I'm glad they're expressing their votes, their opinions, but the strength of our system of government is a peaceful transfer of power, the peaceful debate, passing laws without fighting each other in the battlefield. And that requires people to vote. That's how we will change our country. So all of you, remember to please vote in every single election. Never miss one. Every election matters. Since I got registered to vote, I have never missed an election in my life. Not a special election, not a primary, nothing. I have voted my entire life since I was in college, and everybody needs to do that.
Amazing. Thank you, Senator. And just to echo the Senator's words, please do get out there and vote. It's very, very important for all of us to at least voice our opinions. And that is what this platform is for. Now, I'm going to take it back to us as kind of an organization. I'm going to show you where I am really quickly. This is a fully functional tiny home that we built. It's about 160 square feet. Fully functional, like I said, and it sleeps two. It's kind of showing you around. That's one of the things we do. All across California, local corps participate in different environmental projects like recycling, fire prevention, affordable housing construction, like the tiny home I'm in right now. Many, many more, so many more. When people usually see me in my corps outfit or uniform, I mean, older generations tend to thank me here and there, but the people in my age group don't really know anything about us. I certainly didn't know what a conservation corps or about this one before I joined about 7 months ago. So I guess my question for you, Senator, would be, what do you want people to know about what the corps do and what they do in their local communities, and how can we get the word out more?
Well, this is something that I always tell people, and I speak of the corps all the time, especially because I came from there and I know about the corps, but I talk about a program that works with disadvantaged youth to provide them a high school diploma, job training, and a paycheck while they do all that. And it's just a wonderful model, and I use it to as a model for other organizations that work with youth. If you can engage and provide youth support to get an education at multiple levels, that's just a great model. But I also want to remind you that you yourself are an ambassador for the local corps. You are more in contact with your local age group than we are. And we have our platform. We utilize it. We budget accordingly. We make laws accordingly. But you're also a very important ambassador that can communicate with young people and tell them about your experience and how this has contributed to improving your life, and how if they wanted to use this as a tool, it's available to them. And if they didn't, it's available for them to support one way or another. And develop a good sales pitch and share it with people in your community, because that'll help our entire community, because urban corps are all over in San Diego helping other nonprofits. They're helping individuals. They're helping to weatherize homes, helping to build parks and trails, and there are just so many programs that they're managing clean and safe programs across the county. They're just doing such wonderful things that are contributing to the betterment of our community in ways that people can see but don't know that they're associated with urban corps. That's why we need to support the urban corps, because they're supporting you to achieve your American dream. And that's more, look, us as adults, we just want to see you become great Americans that are confident people, that know how to solve problems, that are going to be part of the future. All of you are going to be part of the future workforce and the leadership of America. And I hope you guys climb as far as you dream.
Thank you, Senator. Now we'd like to look to the future. This is a moment in which people are talking about the need to expand the Corps. We have senators in Washington proposing legislation that will expand the Corps to 750,000 Corps members nationally, which is 15 times more Corps members than we have now. What could you imagine it would look like if 15 times as many young people were able to join the Corps, and what would the effect be?
Well, the effect would be more young people would have access to a quality education and job training and a paycheck. And if the federal government wants to back that up with support for the Corps, that would be a wonderful thing, because we need it across our country. There are so many parts of our state that are not served by local Corps. I had a bill that'll ask the governor to consider hiring the Corps to, clean up after fires, help fight fires, and help provide support for the damage caused by fires in our state. That's a lot of work. We need a lot of Corps members for that. And so if the federal government could come and support us in that, that would just mean that we can handle just so many more issues across our community. It's not just environmental work. It's the whole, responding to a pandemic, responding to fires. There's just so many things that the Corps could handle that would check many boxes of accomplishing many things.
Do you have anything else for yourself to add, based off anything that we said, or maybe just something that you would like to share with us?
I just want to remind all of you, and you're young, and oftentimes you don't know how this system works, but I want to remind all of you that you're very, very important people. That's why I'm in this call with all of you, because I know that you're very, very important, and you have a huge role to play in our society. And I want you guys to learn how to take advantage of that and use your power and your strength to affect change, to put yourself on a path for success, but to also know how to use the tools available to you to do that. Remember that you can call all your elected officials as individuals to request things. You can invite them to your homes. There's so many things that you can do as an individual to affect the leadership of your community. And I want you to feel confident in reaching out. And if people say no, remember that. Remember the people that say no to you. And don't take it to heart, but remember the people that respond to you and the people that don't. Remember them in voting time. And continuously work to improve yourselves, continuously work to be part of the solution as you have been. But more than anything else, remember your power. All of you have power. When I discovered my power, when I started to exercise it, when I started to raise questions, ask questions, and reach out, and I looked for ways to get access to people in power, and I had a lot of success doing that. And if you try, you will succeed. I tried and I succeeded. There was nothing special that I did other than to get up and make a phone call or make a visit or send a letter. A lot of people don't realize that if you send a letter here, it will be published. Members will read it. It will be added to the workload, and people would have to consider it in passing laws. Letters that you write are read. Don't think that they're not. So feel free to send emails and letters and make calls. Get activated politically, civically. Don't be afraid. All of you, this is your country. We should be working for you every day. I work for all of you guys. You guys are my boss. Remember that. We're here to work for you. Never, ever forget how powerful you are, because when you remember, we will start working for you. Have a nice day. Thank you very much. I'm so proud of all of you. I know you guys have had challenges in your life, but you guys are on a path to overcome them. I'm very, very proud of you, and I want you guys to continue your hard work. Hard work is good. I'm proud of all the hard work I've invested. Nothing that I've ever done that was hard did not have a return in the end. If you seek, you will find. You will. So continue working and work hard, and you guys are going to be great people. And I mean that in the sense, as you want to see yourself one day, you will get there. So thank you for letting me share this afternoon with you. And anything you guys need, you please give me a call. I'm here for all of you.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator, for joining us. We're deeply grateful of your time. It's important to get our youth, Corps members and leadership staff's voices out there and just answer the questions that we have on our minds. There's just so much going on right now, and it is really important. And I'm very glad to have been joined by all of you here today to launch it. Thank you so much for watching, everybody else who's also involved. There are 14 local conservation corps in California, and many are hiring. If you're interested in getting involved or hiring your local corps, please go to the link that's going to be in the chat box, mylocalcorps.org. As you heard in this interview, we are ready to step up and help solve local challenges in partnership with other organizations, local government, and our own community. Can't wait to work with you. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you next time on more Corps Conversations. Thank you very much.